Is it the wedding of the century? Well, that's what some are calling the highly anticipated nuptials of billionaire Jeff Bezos and journalist turned philanthropist Lauren Sanchez. The happy couple arrived in Venice, Italy Wednesday for a start to the star-studded three-day event. Some 200 A-list celebrities trickled in. The Kardashians, Oprah, Ivanka Trump, Usher, and others touched down in Venice, where wedding bells will soon be ringing. According to reports, nearly 100 private jets are flying in guests to attend the $20 to $50 million affair.
While the creme de la creme swamped Venice, Venetians aren't having it. No, they are not happy, many of them. Over the last few days, protesters mounted so-called "No Space for Bezos." Demonstrators put, as you see that sign there, a giant banner in St. Mark's Square reading, quote, "If you can rent Venice for your wedding, you can pay more tax." Activists floated a mannequin of Bezos holding on to an Amazon down the Grand Canal. They were pretty creative. Dummies of he and wife-to-be Sanchez were propped on gondolas. Anti-Bezos effort appears to have succeeded. The wedding will now be held on the outskirts of Venice. Now, Jezebel posted on X, quote, "The No Space for Bezos movement is the only good thing about the Bezos wedding. Have I got news for you?" X account posted, quote, "Jeff Bezos has told wedding guests not to bring a gift, with people asking, 'What do you give the man who has everything?' A tax bill would be a good start." Bernie Sanders, of course, chiming in here, posting, quote, "This is oligarchy. This is obscene. While 60% live paycheck to paycheck and kids go hungry, Jeff Bezos, worth $230 billion, goes to Venice on his $500 million yacht for a $20 million wedding and spends $5 million on a ring, while his real tax rate is just 1.1%. And this oligarchy." So there's, of course, some people are going to say, well, that's his money.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, on that piece,
Yeah.
I'll say, okay, see, Sanders had a point until he starts to go into his money. I hear him on the taxes, but that's his money. I mean,
yeah, and I'm no Jeff Bezos fan.
Me neither.
Amazon is basically like a sweatshop for Chinese goods. So that, I mean, it's a nightmare. But it looked very convenient, great platform. But I think it does a lot of harm to American small businesses. But that being said, it is his money. It's his wedding. I don't like the bitterness towards people who are having an opulent wedding just because some people don't like the aesthetic of it or the way that it looks from the outside. I think he's allowed to do whatever he and his wife want. And look, I would love to have an opulent Venice wedding. I'm sure it would be great. I obviously can't afford it. He can. All the best to them.
well, I think it's more about him as a whole, because there are others like George Clooney who have gotten married there. Many celebrities get married there, and there was a lot of positivity. People were excited to have, his wedding there. So this is more than about wealth. I think it's about the way Jeff Bezos has operated as a multi-billionaire. He's gotten involved with politics. He bought the Washington Post, then spiked endorsements, for Kamala Harris at the time. He supported Trump's campaign through Amazon, $1 million, and then ends up with a $2.3 billion something contract through Blue Origin. So the way he plays the game, I think people are not, and by the game, I mean the way he's operating his wealth and how he gets it. I think that's what people are looking at. We don't like you, Jeff Bezos, and I think he has to be prepared for that. And I don't have feelings for him. I'm not getting into my feelings. I'm saying I think that's what people are looking at, is him and how he has operated and maneuvered, especially with the media control and also in Europe. There's tax disputes with European governments. So the way he has operated is what people are frowning upon, I think, more than anything.
Yeah, I get the complaints about the business aspect. I do think on the politics question, it does feel a little one-sided. And just to clarify, the $1 million he gave was to the inaugural committee, not to the campaign. But that being said, he has tacitly supported Trump. He appeared at the inauguration.
Right,
that's all
right,
true.
Right.
But I mean, to the George Clooney point, right? Like, he's donated tons of money to Democrats, and he didn't get protests because they agreed with his political opinions. So it just feels a little bit manufactured to me. Like, is it really about them being mad he doesn't pay taxes, or are they just trying to stick it to the guy who's supporting
both.
Republicans?
Yeah, I'm sure both.
And I mean, the other part of this is that this is obviously a huge boon to the Venetian economy, right? There's a lot of people going to be hired to work this wedding who are probably getting pretty decent rates, unless he underpays them like he does his Amazon employees. And they're going to be spending a ton of money on catering, on alcohol, on the setup of this event, all of the the flowers, everything. So that's a huge injection of money into their economy, which I think is a good thing for them. They obviously have a lot of tourist money in general that they get. This is just on top of that. So I think, what bothers me about this is really the tone that people are taking about trying to essentially rain on this man's parade, which is supposed to be the happiest day of their life. And I'm pro-wedding. I like weddings.
Yeah.
I like marriage.
Well, right. And I think that he has to be prepared when he entered into more of the political, as you said, being near Trump's orbit and visually us seeing him. And then, yes, you're right, it wasn't him directly, but it was, Amazon donated $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund. All of these things, he has to be prepared that there may be backlash. And you can't predict where that backlash is going to come and who's going to do it. It just happens to be at your wedding. So
yeah, that's the part that bothers me. Let the man have his wedding. I don't know. I think he deserves to have a nice day. Everybody
look,
does.
When you get your wedding in Venice, let me know. I'll be there.
Unfortunately not. It was in Alexandria, Virginia, but we had a great time nonetheless. And that's actually going to do it for us on Rising Live. Look out for more exclusive YouTube content coming your way today. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Hills YouTube channel so you never miss any content. And for those of you who like to listen while on the go, we are now available anywhere you listen to podcasts. See you next week.
10-year wedding? 10-year anniversary?
Coming up on 2.